Hello there, people who have access to the internet and who are currently using it to watch this video. My name is PunFood, or just Pun if you prefer, and I'm gonna jump down this hole. Now, we could have gotten this a lot earlier, but here's a piece of heart. I figured I'd just do it now since we need to leave Eagle's Tower anyway. So, last time our hint for finding level 8 was that the music of the ocarina leads. Now, we have 45 of 50 secret shells, we have 7 of 8 instruments, and we have 12 more heart pieces to find. Which is a lot, but we've basically collected everything. The main reason I jumped down, or I guess not the main reason, but one of the reasons I jumped down is because I want to go visit the seashell house, and I probably need to get the bow back. While the boomerang has been good, and it still will be good, for now, I think I need the bow. Unfortunately, level 8 is like the only place in the... The bow is a completely optional, like, purchase item. Granted, you're supposed to have it to access level 6, but, like, it's completely optional technically. And yet, for some reason, in level 8, there's exactly one puzzle that absolutely requires that you have the bow. Anyway. So, we'll head into the seashell house and we'll see... we'll see. What rewards we have. We're only 5 short, so we should get one more reward. I believe that was for 40. Which gets us... Oh, this is the... sword upgrade. So we could have got this before heading into Eagle's Tower, I guess, but whatever. Raising our sword over our head, it transforms into the Koholint sword. You should put your name on it right away. With the Koholint sword, we're now doing extra damage, which would have made the eagle fight even easier. Those guys go down right away. What about you? You go down right away. Mirror Shield now reflects projectiles, so I guess it's not completely useless. I guess it's pretty useful. But, let's grab this apple, and now... we have the Koholint sword, which is basically the Master Sword. It shoots a sword beam. Pretty cool. I love sword beams, in all my, you know, sword-themed adventures, I guess you would call it. But we're gonna head down to the guy with the bow, or who we gave our bow to. Please die. Thank you. And we're gonna trade him back the boomerang. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we need the shovel for at least one thing. And unfortunately, we can't set our own warp point down to the beach. Otherwise, I think I would just go explore the thing. Well, worst comes to worst, there's probably a warp point up here. Like, there's gotta at least be one. That looks like a warp point. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna trade him back for the bow after I get where I need to go. So, we're gonna use Mambo's Mambo to head over here. Back up to the mountain range. Because unfortunately, your only way down from here is either to there and having to still walk through all the caves, or over here. When it says the music of the ocarina leads, my guess is that it intends for you to play this song and hopefully... No. Yeah, maybe what... I don't really know what they mean when they say the music of the ocarina leads. I guess just go explore, or slash, there's only one spot really left to go, so your only option really is to try to go over there. But, we will have to walk through this short cave, but we shouldn't have to do any other caving until it's new caving. This is probably one of my favorite, end-of-game adventures. I didn't have a chance to talk about it much yet, but I believe that at the very least, sort of the structure of like 8 dungeons to go find across like a world, you know, like on the Game Boy, kind of inspired a bit of the Pokemon series with, you know, the whole 8 gym leaders and gym badges to obtain, you know, in a similar sort of exploring the world as you get new abilities like Surf and such. And, like, if you think about it, you know, it's on the Game Boy, so maybe that's why I'm making the comparison, because, like, on the Game Boy, they look very similar, you know, moving tile by tile almost. But we're gonna need the hook shot for this. Ow. But I guess, you know, maybe that's why I like this end of game here. It feels almost like we're going through... Like, before we did have some open areas to explore, but the mountain range in particular feels like we're going through a Pokemon route, where there's a bit of, like, exploring, but a lot of it is just walking along the route, and then maybe, like, Victory Road up through here, you know? So maybe that's why I like this game, part of the game a lot. It's probably one of my favorite ended game sections in Zelda, with how it feels like we have to really traverse this mountain, but... Marin is asking for somebody to help her. Hey, Link! Sorry, my voice is... Ugh. Some monsters put me up here. What should I do? I'm afraid of heights. Well, what we can do is hook shot across and save her. What? Yo! That was a surprise! Link, thank you! Say, Link. I don't know how to say this, but... Madden! It's a me, Mario! Woohoo! Huh? Taryn? Never mind. I gotta go. So, she wanders off. I guess we'll have time to learn about what she wanted to say later, maybe. Anyway, here's the owl. Hoot! That ghost sang a song in front of the egg. Her Ballad of the Windfish is a song of awakening. Did she actually intend to wake the windfish? The next siren's instrument is in the west. Play your melodies so the unliving stones might hear. Show your courage, the windfish waits for you. Hoot! Alright. Well, I guess we'll head off to the west then? Waking the windfish. But yeah, this is kind of awkward, because, like, if you leave, your first instinct might be to fall down there or to fall down here. But, like, why would you go through the whole mountain range and then up there? Maybe... My guess is that if you make it up to that platform down there, Marin might call out to you. But even still, I don't know. Anyway... This is the last section of traversal, really, in this game. And it's probably one of my favorites. I really like just the way you go through here. It's just a shame that the only thing really through here is the final dungeon. This feels like a cool place to put, you know, like, not this cave in particular, but just the upcoming trials ahead of us, or passage that we need to take. Is pretty empty in my opinion. Like, even just having like a wider space once we get through here would have been nice, but it's pretty like confined because we're still on the mountain range. It's not bad. I like the east side of the mountain because it's more confined, but once we're over here, I kind of wish that we changed up the aesthetic a little. Anyway, this isn't technically Death Mountain, but there's still falling boulders, so watch out for that, I guess. And up here we can find another secret seashell. There are still a few of these left to get, but it shouldn't be too bad. If we can get to the dungeon before the 15-minute mark, though, that would also be great. Up here is a very important staircase after we open this chest and get 50 rupees. Because down here is the very last one. For this, we need magic powder, of course, and we can open this thing, and little devil will appear again. Ready? Yep. Ready for more arrows. So, should we bring back the bow? This is, if we had the bow back, we could now, of course, hold more arrows, but, we don't have the bow right now, so we'll just carry on like nothing happened, basically. Anyway, up over here, we now have to go down here. And down here, we find some very easy to defeat enemies, but also, over here, we find a piece of heart that we could have seen earlier, even before the first dungeon, maybe? We could have after the first dungeon, we saw that owl statue, and we came, and we saw this piece of heart, and we can finally get it. I guess you could finally get it as soon as you got the hook shot, technically, but it's really intended as a before level 8 pickup, I guess, Anyway, so, remember the last part when I said the mirror shield wasn't really the best dungeon item? I don't know if I used those words exactly, but it's not the best dungeon item. Sure, it can reflect stuff, but the thing blocking our way to level 8, you wouldn't be able to get any further without the mirror shield from level 7. And it's kind of stupid. Oh, you can hold the thing while charging a spin, huh? Neat. Never knew you could do that, but that's helpful. But yeah, you need to have the mirror shield to deflect that, because your normal shield cannot. And it's so stupid that there's just this random thing here blocking your way for no reason. I would have accepted, I would have accepted if, it wasn't just a matter of blocking, but you needed to, bounce back a projectile or something. Anyway, there's a warp. I do need the shovel for this, which is number 47, I believe, of the secret shells, and there's a phone here and also a shortcut down. So let's defeat these guys before they become a nuisance. And looking up there, I can't see much. I'm just trying to see, does it look like we might need a shovel? Maybe. Having the boomerang is very helpful, though, so I guess maybe I could give up magic powder? I haven't been using it, so if I could give up magic powder, that'd be great. Anyway, let's use our warp thing to head to this one? Yeah, this one. We need to get the bow back because of one stupid puzzle here in the dungeon. Let's equip the magic powder for the sake of trading it, if it lets us trade it. I know there are certain things that the game won't let you trade away. Here, one of which is, the bombs, I believe, and the hook shot. They might let you trade away bombs, actually. I don't know. They probably don't let you trade away bombs. Because unlike arrows for the bow, bombs themselves are their own pickup. Anyway, I'll sell your bow back. Oh, you can get... You don't need to trade it. You just can get it back. Okay. Cool. Well then, that means I can just equip the... Well, actually, I want to equip the warp song to get us back up there quickly. I know on the Game Boy, I'm pretty sure you have to trade it back. But in this version, I guess you can just buy it, so... Whatever. Anyway... Maybe they're saying the ocarina leads the way for what we have to do to get into the dungeon, but even still, it's how am I supposed to tell? Anyway, with that, let's defeat these guys really quick just so they're not in the way. We can play the Bring Inanimate Objects to Life song to bring to life the, this head, I guess, as part of the dungeon. I'm not quite sure what this boss fight is intended to be. We cannot break the head, so I recommend using bomb arrows. You don't need the arrows for this reason, but it is a good reason to get them. Okay. So we can just beat him up a bunch. And defeat him. And maybe we consider this the head of Turtle Rock, because if we step inside to level 8, we're greeted with level 8, Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock is a final dungeon in well, this game, as well as it's the semi-final dungeon in A Link to the Past. It's a dungeon that isn't... Since you can do the Link Between Worlds dungeons in any orders, it could be the final dungeon you do there. Or semi-final. And I forget if it makes an appearance in the Wind Oracle games or not. It might. Anyway... This dungeon has a lot of puzzles. Aesthetically, it's okay. I would have preferred if there was a bit more structure to the lava cave aesthetic they got going on. Like, if it wasn't just lava cave, if it was more like ancient lava ruins, you know? I think, other games have done Turtle Rock better, in my opinion. I think it's mostly sort of the more grid-based structure of this game is the main thing I point at when I say this dungeon aesthetically doesn't work well. I think Angler's Tunnel works so well because it's one of the few dungeons in the game to move away from like a room by room view of the dungeon and instead have more like overlapping rooms, you know. And then Face Shrine just for like the aesthetic, like, or like the importance of the part of the game around it is one of the reasons why I like Face Shrine. Overall, I'd say this dungeon's pretty complicated. It's pretty sizable. It works as the final dungeon of the game. I would say that Level 7 has a better overall dungeon puzzle. It's one of the few dungeons to have a dungeon puzzle, as opposed to like puzzles throughout the dungeon. So that's why it gets points. But I'd say this dungeon is probably below Face Shrine, probably above level 7, because at least the aesthetic is slightly better. I really like the level 1 aesthetic, but it's a bit too basic. Honestly, though, how does that... What happened there? Like, what actually happened? Anyway. There's a lot of chests here and a lot of rooms to navigate. We don't have the map yet, but we can already tell. It's one floor, but, like, all these rooms are basically going to be used. And also, we're refighting basically every mid-boss through the entire game. As a sort of mid-boss rush, I can appreciate this dungeon. But at a certain point, the dungeon just becomes a bit confusing to navigate in like a single straight line without really repeating rooms. Which I guess isn't a bad thing. It's cool to go through like a sort of central area. But I do think overall this dungeon could have benefited from a bit more linearity in how you progress through it. A bit less ways of like missing a single key and getting lost. Then again, it is the final dungeon. There's the boss. So yeah, it basically spans the entirety of the map. To get through here, we have to defeat this Vire, which only appear in like Zelda 1 and this game, I believe. They might appear in Link. They might appear in the other early Zelda games. I don't know. Anyway, after the big one goes down, the little ones will just fly away, and they still count as being defeated. Unfortunately, though, these dungeons could actually benefit. This dungeon in particular, I think, could benefit from having more than one teleport thing. Even if you had to, like, go through it a bit more, like, manually selecting, I want to go to this part of the dungeon. Going up doesn't get us much of anywhere. Well, it gets us somewhere. There is no way to complete this puzzle, so to speak, unlike the other guided walkway thingamabobs. But we can do the classic Zelda block puzzle to get to this chest, which gets us our dungeon map. They give it to you nice and early, along with the compass, and yeah, this place is complicated. I really like it, honestly. I think, though... Do I like level 7? No, I like this place more than level 7. I think level 4 just has the aesthetic, and it plays really well. I think level 5 was okay. I'm not a big fan of the hook shot as an item. Like, it's fun, it's cool, I guess. Not really... Like, I've warmed up to it recently. I really just played, like, my first Zelda game was, like, one of the games where, like, it was a Link Between Worlds where the hook shot's used for, like, one dungeon, and then I never really found a reason to use it otherwise, because there are way better items for combat. But as a traversal item, the hook shot's great. You know. Oh, also, with the Koholint Sword, we can now break the pots, which is great. I don't know if it's like that on the Game Boy or not. I guess that's something I could test if I wanted to put in the hours to go find that out. I don't know. Anyway, we got the beak. And now we have this guy, which can only be damaged by lifting up his iron ball, so... yeah. Don't take damage. Unfortunately, because it's our sword that it got upgraded and not like our strength or whatever, we don't do more damage to him. Kind of a bit of a letdown to some extent, but whatever. Do we go in here first or up there? I always never know how to approach this dungeon. Let's actually unlock this path while we're in here. And then this one is one of the more hard to manage, guide thingamabobs. Because you have to make some really... Oh, I got it first try that time. Wow. Lucky me. But yeah, this dungeon, there's no real one set path to go through it. Unlike other dungeons where I can recommend like a guided route, you know. Anyway, we'll flip the switch. I don't see any harm in doing that. I forget what it does, but it doesn't matter. And this staircase, I believe, is inaccessible. Yes. Okay. And we also... You're not really intended to get to that staircase, but you technically can. We'll instead head over to this chest, which just has a guy. There's no room below us, so... We will instead head through here, KOing these guys, and stepping on the switch. It's so great to have just, you know, the Koholint Sword, which can now one-hit those guys instead of them being immune to our attacks. And that gives us a staircase. Where to? I cannot remember. We will figure it out together, I guess. Okay. Should be as simple as getting up here, and then this should take us somewhere. I mean, most places usually do. Oh, does this take us, down here? Yeah, it does. Okay. So, I guess we'll head up through here instead of across the pit. There isn't really anything else here. I guess I can show off trying to skip ahead. I believe this one's also blocked by... yeah. So that doesn't do much for us. We still have to kind of come down here and go back into the main sort of big room. I don't know. I really like this dungeon. I like the lava aesthetic a lot. I just forget how you're supposed to really go through here. So we have a couple options. This one's probably the easiest to get through. If we were to make it up there, that would take us up those stairs, which would lead us basically... Would that trap us if we tried to go up that way without... Yeah, it kind of would. So, we need to have basically grabbed 2 keys by now, if we want to make any progress. So I kind of like that, but it is kind of annoying considering there's a lot of one-way blockades blocking us from, like, not going back, but just, like, getting back here is a little bit of a pain if you don't already have the 2 keys you need. Anyway, through this upper passage is some stuff. I'm going to take this before heading through the one-way, because that seems like the most logical approach to me. This takes us down here to basically a exit to this place, it looks like. Okay. That's the thing about this dungeon. It's very easy to get lost and confused in navigational puzzles, because there's a lot of rooms, and just with the secret passage. Is it a gimmick of this game? I guess it kind of is. Well, maybe it's not like a gimmick, but, you know, the secret passage part, you know, part of some of the exploring that gets done, can definitely make it a bit difficult to do. Anyway, the arrow points that way. What do you say? Defeat the monsters who hold the key. Attack them from a higher place. Yes. We can't get in there. Is this a one-way? I don't think it is. But we can head up here, and that drops a key, which we can grab. I'm gonna wait on heading into the... I mean, I guess I could show off what's in the next room. So, in the next room, we have these guys, which we can defeat, but unfortunately, if you look at the map, the chest is up there. Not the most beneficial to us. However, it looks like... Ow. It looks like... Well, that's a locked door. But we can grab that chest. I am going to quickly check what's through here. Oh, there's the boss door. Okay. So we opened this up. Let's grab that chest now, so we don't have to worry about grabbing it later. And in here we have... secret medicine. So I just wasted... Cool. Just what I wanted to do. I have to go back through the secret passage. Yeah, there's a lot of times in this dungeon where you're funneled through one way because it's a one-way, like, passage or something. Ow. Time it better. I was thinking I could just tank the damage, but that's not how that works, really. Cool. Anyway, we already blew up this wall, I believe, so we can just head through here. And I guess I'll suck it up and light the torches. I don't have a key. So I locked myself out of going this way for now, it looks like. Never mind. I didn't realize that that was how that worked. Kind of a little bit sucky, but whatever. We can just head through here. Jump around you, kind of, sort of, not really. Head up over here. And head up over into here, which we cannot do anything about that for now. However, this is the one stupid puzzle that actually requires the bow. You need to shoot the eye, even though that's something that you've never had to do before in this game. Yeah, because the bow has never really been required in this game before, I guess, but, you know. Is that... No, that's not a bombable wall. Never mind. Okay. We now have a key. We do need to first find the dungeon item, I believe. Is the dungeon item up over here? Let's use the boomerang, actually. Okay. Just throwing the boomerang is sure to work. And yes, that does open the door. Okay. There's stuff over there we can't get to right now, but hopefully this is the dungeon item. It might not be. It might just be... Yeah, it's just cash. Okay. So, let's head up through here. And up here we find ourselves a piece of heart. This is our second? Maybe our third. It's our third. So we just need one more. And then we'll still have like a few heart pieces left to get. But we can also activate this teleport, which I guess kind of works as like a mid-dungeon teleport circle other than like the actual mid-dungeon teleport circle. Anyway, now what we need to do is we need to get them to eat the bombs while we're standing up here, which is very difficult, and sometimes they don't want to cooperate, especially since it's very hard to aim your bombs when you're only really allowed to kind of aim in one direction. Dang it. Okay. Or like aim at one set distance for throwing. Cool, we defeated that one. Okay. You just need one more. This is probably my only part of the dungeon that I really don't like. Aside from like getting lost is sometimes annoying. But like getting lost could be considered part of the fun, if you will. Anyway. Once that's done, that spawns a chest, and we can open it to get a small key, which is going to be required, I believe. Anyway, looking at our map, that's the secret medicine, so don't worry about it. Looks like our only way left to go is through there. Unfortunately... Oh, wait. We can actually do something else. Now that we have keys, we can head over here. That just still has the secret medicine. But we can use our hook shot to get over here. And we can head back through here to that locked block. Ow. The locked block. And, open it, I guess, is the general idea of what I had going on here. So... just walk through, and I believe the other one was one way, and that's why I didn't... No, it wasn't, so I could have just walked over here. Never mind. Silly me. Alright, now that we have this key, we can open this block. It looks like we do need another key, but we can also light these torches. That doesn't do much. We're going to need one more key, it looks like, but that's... fine, because we can use bombs to open up some secret doorways, making traversing into here a bit easier. Before even doing that, I'm just gonna come through here. Unfortunately, if you waste a key somewhere, there's no real getting out of that wasted key. Whatever. We will push the blocks to get the key. I don't want to push that. I'd rather just... Yes, okay. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. You're supposed to have to loop back around, but we can't do anything in that room yet. So, let's now head in here. Let's get our hook shot ready. Let's fall in a hole, I guess. And head up through here. This is a very... This dungeon's very maze-like, but... Ow. I'm just falling in lava all over the place, huh? I guess hook shot's not going to be doing much for us right here. One enemy the boomerangs can't defeat is lava bubbles, I guess. So... let's just wait for these platforms to move, and now we can head up through here. And this should get us... Oh, no. No. Oh my god, I think I blocked myself, kinda. We have to wait for him to make a jab. and get around behind him. This guy's very tough. But he only takes a few hits with red mail plus Kokiri sword. Is it red mail or is it the red tunic? I don't know. Anyway, we need what's in that chest, but unfortunately we can't get it right now. So now, now we have to warp back to the entrance and hit the switch. I already hit the switch though. I don't know what else it really did. Like, whatever. Let's head up here. Let's just make a thing going all the way that way to take us into this room so we can re-hit this switch. And then, because navigating to the front of the dungeon sucks, we can play this. I don't know why we hit that switch. Like, what did that do for us in the grand scheme of the dungeon? Whatever. The boxer guy I've struggled with in the past, but get the Koholint sword or whatever before fighting him and you'll be fine. Anyway, with this dungeon item, we got the magic rod. Now you can burn things. The magic rod spouts fireballs. Pretty cool, but honestly, kind of... It's meant to be like an upgraded bow, I guess. Like, it damages more enemy than the bows does. But it's actually worse than the boomerang, in my opinion. It's really only needed to get through some of these puzzles over here. Anyway, I am going to push this, though, so that way we can actually go do the puzzle sort of intended for this thing. If we head through here, and through here, and then just across the way here. Okay. Ow. Dodging those guys is hard, I guess. Deactivate that. Is that a BMOS, technically? It's probably a BMOS, technically. Anyway, in here, we can shoot fireballs to get rid of those guys, but we can also just generally use it to light the torches. Anyway, last small key that we really need. And now, it should just be back through here a little bit. It's not worth playing the whole song. Maybe it was worth playing the whole song. I don't know. Anyway, now it's on me to remember which one of these leads us to the boss and which one of these leads us to the key. Because we still need both. I'm going to guess this one leads us to the key. But what you have to do is you have to shoot it midair so that you don't accidentally burn your platform that you actually need to stand on. This leads us to the key, and good thing we picked up that small key because we're going to need it. It's a rematch against this guy, but we have the boomerang, so we should be able to exploit his weaknesses even better than last time. Okay. Okay. We do more damage with our sword, I bet, so... Okay. How is he not dead yet? Like... Okay. Cool. You weren't that hard last time. Maybe it's an upgraded version with more health. I don't know. Anyway. With that done, now lies one final puzzle to get the boss key. I believe we have to go a bit like something like that. How do we do this? Maybe it's more like, yeah, I guess it's like this. Cool. Okay. Not too hard. Was it supposed to look like a key in the floor? Maybe. I don't know. We got the boss key, or nightmare key, or whatever. It's probably faster just to warp to the entrance, to get to this place. warp to entrance. We want a re-equipped magic rod. It is needed to fight the boss, so at least there's that. I don't think the boomerang can damage the boss, but whatever. Now it's a matter of just making our way over here to this staircase. This staircase takes us to this ice puzzle room thing. Where we need to manage to do that. Yeah, this whole room is a bit more complicated than the other one. So, once we do that, we now have to go down here and shoot up there so we can destroy without destroying our platforms. Cool. And with that, we've now made it to the boss. So, here we go. Overall, I think this dungeon, if I were to rank the dungeons, it would be level 3, level 2, level 1, level 5, level 7, level 6, level... Do I like this dungeon more than 6? I think I do. Level 8 and then level 4. Anyway, let's head into the boss of this place. Very limited arena. Crackle Froosh, you're finished. I will never let you play the instruments of the sirens. That's totally not his voice or whatever. I don't know. It's Hothead. Somehow, his weakness is the magic rod that shoots fire as opposed to, you know, ice. Like, I don't know. It's a fire rod. So, like, it's technically not the fire rod, I guess, but, like, it's a fire-based rod. Like, I don't know how it's his weakness when, like, you know... I believe he might now be both. No, he's not. Okay. Can I hurt him with the sword? No. So he's still only weak to the thing. It's now just a matter of landing some good hits on him while he's popping out of the lava, magma, whatever. Crackle, why'd you come here? If it weren't for you, nothing would have to change. You cannot wake the windfish. Remember, you, too, are in the dream. Is he trying to say that we're a product of his imagination, so we'd also be destroyed if we wake him? I guess, maybe? But whatever. We had to defeat him, so we got our heart container. And he's really easy to beat. I think the most challenging boss that we faced is unfortunately Slime-Eel. Slime-Eel's pretty rough, but the other ones are very easy to beat. Moldorm is maybe the hardest just because you don't have like any upgrades. But Slime-Eel's probably the hardest. Anyway, with all the nightmares of the dungeons defeated, it's time to take our last instrument. You got the Thunder Drum. Egg. The egg on the mountain calls. With that, Turtle Rock is defeated, and I want to get somewhere away from these pterodactyl enemy things. Cool. And also with that, we have 47 seashells and some incomplete hearts. It looks like the egg on the mountain calls, but... Oh, also, Lakes cannot steal our shield now that it's a mirror shield, because, like, that would just not be fun. Or fair, or very interesting. Anything in here? No, okay. I always feel like I missed something in there, you know, so I had to double check. But... I guess that's probably where we want to end the episode, huh? because we're basically left with, you know, one final objective to wake the windfish. And the only thing I can think of is, where the hell are the remaining, like, seashells that, you know, there's only 3 left. I can't imagine that I missed some in some major... The only thing I can think of is maybe after defeating level 8, there's now some stuff at the fishing minigame that I missed or, like, unlocked. But it doesn't look too like it. And in regards to those pieces of heart, yeah, I have no clue. So I guess we'll figure out where the remaining collectibles and stuff are next time. But for now, my name has been and will be tomorrow, and the day after that, 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 and it always will be Pun Food. I guess we're really close to the end. And I don't know what'll happen if this is all just the windfish's dream. Then what happens when he awakes?